Welcome to Integrity Inspire, your daily dose of inspiration and motivation, featuring the bright and talented members of the Integrity Marketing Group family. Now, here's your host, Integrity co-founder and CEO, Brian W. Adams.
Well, hello, everybody. This is Brian Adams. Thank you so much for joining today's call. Today, we were on the road again. I had to commute into the office for the first time in, I think, 8 weeks. And I got to tell you, it's exciting to get back into the office. I think it's going to be more exciting trying to find all the stuff that I tried to take home with me and move around to get prepared for this. And now I'm looking forward here at the office to try to figure out how to get reacclimated, resettled back in. As we have another first here on the Integrity Inspire podcast. It is not easy being in business, period, and really starting the business, but being in business with your spouse adds a whole nother degree of difficulty. Being in business with your spouse over 4 decades is an Olympian feat. Being in business with your spouse and your daughter and your son-in-law takes it to a whole nother level. And today's guest, Larry and Mickey Drennan from Drennan Insurance Marketing, have made it work and done it incredibly well. And they've built an incredible business together and managed to stay together in the process and build a beautiful family together as well. They're wonderful people, and I'm so grateful that they've decided to join us today on the Inspire podcast. Welcome, Larry and Mickey Drennan. How are y'all doing today?
Thank you. We're great. Thanks so much.
Yeah, really good. Thank you for inviting us.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Clearly, you guys were meant to be together. There's couples that you see or you get to know, and you go, man, they were meant to be together in more ways than one. Tell us a little bit about your backstory, how you guys met, how you got to know each other, and how this all came to be.
Well, I was really young, and an agent actually introduced Larry to me, and the trouble was that I didn't really like this agent, so I wouldn't go out with Larry. And he had to do the big salesman job that he is so good at, and he asked me out 3 times before I consented to go out with him. But 3 months later, we were engaged. 3 months after that, we were married. And I guess it's worked out because in September, we'll celebrate 47 years together.
Wow. Congratulations. Well, persistency pays off, doesn't it? My friend.
He's a great salesman.
Good salesmen never take no for an answer. You keep trying. You keep working. So Larry, you grew up in Arkansas, right? So you guys lived in Little Rock. You grew up in Arkansas, correct, Larry? Where'd you grow up?
So I grew up in central Arkansas, but now as a youth, my family moved around a good deal. I have an insurance life. So that means my dad was in the business many years before I got into it. And so he worked for an insurance company, and he was an extreme success at that. And they'd move him around, and he'd get a business enterprise going for him, and just booming. And then they'd say, okay, we need you in Alexandria, Louisiana. So we'd move. So, but really, mostly in central Arkansas for me.
Got it. And then, Mickey, where did you grow up? Because you didn't grow up in Arkansas, did you?
Well, I grew up in California. My California relatives swear I have an Arkansas accent, and my Arkansas friends all say that I have a California accent. So I grew up in California until I was almost a senior in high school.
And then did y'all move to Arkansas? Is that what happened?
My parents were looking for more opportunity and, frankly, more land. And real estate taxes were so high in California that they drove through Arkansas, fell in love with it, and we packed it all up and came to Arkansas, and that's where I met Larry. So it was a God thing.
Yep, and I'm glad that occurred.
Well, we are too. Well, what's it been like working together? I mean, a lot of people don't realize how difficult it is working together with a spouse, right? I mean, it's a lot of us have trouble working together around the house on projects with your spouse. So what's it like working together every day and then going home together?
Okay, I'll jump in on that first, Brian.
Be careful. Be careful.
You want to make to 47 years?
Yep, I've learned something in life, and that's being careful with the words. But here we go. So I was in insurance sales just a couple of years before Mickey and I met, and really, honestly, wasn't very good at it because I grew up in it, and I saw sales guys, old-time sales guys, close the deal. And so that's what I wanted to do, and that didn't work for me until I decided I'm going to quit selling and start serving people. And then it clicked. So, but as we grew our insurance agency business, I could see that I needed some more help. We had some staff, but, you know, in any business, when you first start out, the cash flow is a concern, and, you know, you're trying to balance everything, make it all work, make a living, help as many people as you can. And so I finally had to have some more help. So that's, Mickey was busy. She's never had a boring life at all. She's got something going all the time. So she had a real busy life going on already, raising our daughter and keeping me in line and encouraging me, and that's a big job. So I went to her one day and I said, I need you to come to work in the office. I need some help, and right now we don't have the cash flow to support it. So I said, would you come in at least just part-time? And she agreed to that. And then once she agreed to part-time, I just said, well, pick the 12 hours of the day you want to work. And so she came to work in the office. And then when she first came to work, I said, now, we deal with agents, you know, so much. We're growing our independent brokerage at that point. And I said, I would really like it if you'd consider using your maiden name in business, because I don't want the agents to feel like, okay, that's Larry's wife. I can't be real. I have to watch what I say and do and all this. So for a few years, Mickey went by Mickey Morgan. That's her maiden name. And some interesting things developed there, too, because early on, she was working with an agent that needed some help on commissions, getting commissions paid by an insurance carrier. And this agent was really pushing hard for, and we understand that. We're all about the agents getting paid. But sometimes it's just difficult to get problems, commission problems or other problems worked out. So this is dragging. Well, the agent wrote me a letter and told me I need to fire this Mickey Morgan person.
But you didn't do it, did you?
Oh, no. Obviously, that's one request from an agent that I could not honor. And so, Brian, from there, I'm going to hand it back over to Mickey and let her talk a little bit about that. I'm going to ask her to talk about it because she's the one that dealt with that situation. But honestly, I'll say it's been such a wonderful experience being in business with Mickey. She's an amazing person.
Well, this particular agent did get paid, and the agent and I became friends, so it all worked out. But he had no idea how long I worked on his situation. But you know, working together, you know, that's how we can complement each other. Larry and I, we're good. I'm good at admin, and I've always said that everyone needs to be the boss somewhere. So at work, Larry is the boss. At home, I'm the boss. So that has worked very well in our situation. We seem to complement each other. And then Larry is so super creative. He's creative and he gives to people and he wants people to succeed. And that makes me so proud of him, and I'm so respectful for what he's built over the years, his reputation, his business, but he's just a great person, and he will actually celebrate his 50th year in the business this year. So he's
wow,
been around
congratulations,
for a while.
Larry.
Yeah,
That's a huge milestone. Congratulations.
It just seems like a few days ago, doesn't it, huh?
Yeah, really, it does.
Wow, that is you guys do make such a great team. You know, my mom and dad worked together, and my dad, I think I've shared this a couple of times on this podcast, but my dad's passion was serving people, and still is, frankly, but he owned funeral homes, and that was never. Yeah, my mom was amazing. She was really good at the administration side of it, and really ran the business by and large. And my dad served the people, took care of the families. And the problem it was always a challenge to ever kind of make that switch, right? Where you're always working, you're always talking about things, and it's hard to kind of turn that off when you go home, when you go, have dinner or whatever. Now you guys obviously have done that really well, and set that up to a level that you were able to be able to work through that and be very successful at. But like any business, I'm sure you've been through your share of adversity. How did you guys navigate those challenging times?
Well, first and foremost, it's been about our faith. Without our strong faith, we wouldn't have been able to do anything, and including me selling insurance, because I thought I was going to be a sales guy. But that really wasn't what I was cut out to do. I was cut out to serve people. And when I realized that, then didn't get easy, but it became easier, I'll say. But yeah, we've been through many, many challenges in our business. From the get-go, we did Medicare supplement and little supplemental policies back in that day. Thinking that I got into the business in 1970, the Medicare supplement was broken apart from the medical plan that paid for the doctor's fees. So today it's totally different, of course. But I had to design a system that would allow our agents to be successful, and so I actually came up with a presentation that we could teach to our agents back then that got the agent on every appointment to show 6 policies, and then let the consumer pick the ones they wanted. And so many times, I've done it, many times I'd have them, they couldn't decide which one they didn't like, so they took them all. So, it's just our faith has really guided us. It guided us in building that supplement presentation, I'll call it. We did tons of life insurance, tons of LTC, tons of group medical, individual medical, and every one of those lines of business nearly put me out of business. I mean, we were writing hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, let's go back. This is 1980 and mid-80s when hundreds of thousands was a big deal. But we were writing just bukus of life premium and with an A-plus rated company. And then next thing you know, they began to have financial trouble and went under real quick. So that business shut down. And then many of us on this call know and remember the long-term care days when they were just booming, and we were all in. And then that business shut down on us. So it didn't completely go away, but it almost did. And then group medical, millions and millions of dollars of premium every year shut down on us. Our carriers losing money. I mean, just overnight, that business went away. Same thing on individual medical. We had one of our primary carriers that represented over 50% of our total income that called us and wanted to come visit. And I said, okay, what's up? Well, we're getting out, and we wanted to give you a 90-day notice that all of your business is going to be non-renewed. So if we hadn't had our strong faith to get us through those times, we couldn't have done it, Brian. It's just been an amazing career, and around every corner, God gave us some guidance, and we're here today.
Wow. Yeah, that's it's amazing how many people have gone through just incredible challenges on this, right? I mean, that's it's just been amazing to see just how every one of these stories, people will say. I've even had employees that are listening into this podcast say, "Man, I've always thought everything was just easy for everybody." That in fact, one said, "I've often been jealous by the fact that it's always been easy for you guys." And then I hear your stories, all these stories about the struggles and the sleepless nights and the lost opportunity and the restarts and all those different topics that you're talking about right now. And the fact that, honestly, it wasn't easy I don't know that we've heard a single story that, somebody said, yeah, I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth and it's so easy that they thought that didn't work, and so I got a gold one instead. Like, let's gold plate that sucker. I mean, that's not been the case for anybody. Everybody has been struggling and fighting and getting to where we are. And I know as part of the Integrity family, I remember those days where you would lose a carrier because you could be too successful, right? I mean, you could write so much business that all of a sudden they didn't prepare for it to be that successful, and then they say, "I'm sorry, we've got to exit this line, or we're out of business, or whatever." And you're kind of at the whim, like you did your job well, but then because they didn't have the resources or whatever, stuff out of your control, that you suffer because of that. And I remember, if Robin were on this call today, she would say the fact that we're all together now and with Integrity and what we've all done together, she would say, well, Brian sleeps a lot better. I definitely don't worry. This stuff still keeps me up. Don't get me wrong, but I think she would say that I certainly sleep better at night, knowing that we're all in this together, and being more diversified allows us to be able to respond better to that. But man, those early days, and Mickey, I'm sure as Larry was going through all of these struggles, you both were, right? But I mean, his passion of the insurance business, and you're supporting him in that business. I'm sure those had to be some really tough times for you.
Well, Larry and I have never been afraid of hard work. I mean, we never lost confidence in ourselves or our faith. We just always focused on what's next. Larry says that every challenge there's an opportunity, and I've always believed that. We just focused on the work, and there were times we had to just use half of our leased area and give the other half back for another office. But we never let go of our staff. And, we would rather reduce our own salary than do that. So we just focused on going back to work. And right now we're so lucky to be surrounded by a great Drennan team and Integrity partners. We feel so fortunate. A lot of the people that are with us now have been with us for a very, very long time, and we appreciate them so much. But they're but they can see that we're not afraid to work. We will roll up our sleeves. We will make calls. We will market. We will do errands. We will do whatever it takes to keep the business going, and we've always done that. So I think by setting that example, it makes everyone else work harder.
Yeah, that is so true. Well, so Larry and Mickey, you guys have been at this for a long time, and you're coming up on your 50th year celebration. That is, I mean, that should be a celebration of your dedication. Just think. I mean, if we just think for a moment about the lives that you've touched. I love the fact that you said this early on, is that when you stopped selling and you started serving, that's when it really took off. And I believe in that concept so much that this is a service business, and whenever you start serving people and helping people, that's when it really is blessed beyond measure. I mean, and really thinking about what you're talking about in faith and everything else. I mean, that is just so true, and I believe that is just a really powerful message for all of us. And one of our mission here at Integrity is to help Americans plan for one of the toughest days of their life. And what that means for us is when somebody goes through a heart attack, has cancer, stroke, COVID, they're sitting in their hospital room, and they're so desperately wondering what's going on, and they're in this kind of lost moment, right? We want to have the insurance products there, the health insurance products, Medicare Supplement, Medicare Advantage, hospital indemnity, some product there to take care of those needs. Or when they go into a nursing home, and they have to go through that agonizing decision to put mom into a nursing home. We want to be able to have a long-term care, short-term care plan, or some plan there in place for somebody. Or at the end of life, when somebody passes away and they're sitting at the funeral home and they're trying to figure out what to do on that, we want to have a life insurance plan. And if you think about people won't ever know that any of us really existed in helping them get that coverage. But if you just take a moment to think about the amount of people that you touched in their lives, that we'll never even know the impact, frankly, on this side of the world. But think about over 50 years, how many people you've been able to impact in such a powerful way to make sure that they have the coverage that they needed, that their family had the protection that they needed. Man, I just on behalf of everybody here at Integrity and just really our industry, I just want to thank you for your service, man. You've led in an admirable way, and I love that you lead with the servant's heart.
Yeah, he really does.
Yeah, and so thank you so much for that. But it's what I do. It's the way my heart was made in the beginning, and I just love to do it, and I love it today. A lot of people, Brian, ask me, they said, "Man, you've been doing that 50 years. When are you going to retire?" And
what keeps you going? What keeps you going with that? Yeah, what keeps you going?
And my standard answer to that is I'm probably not ever going to retire until God calls me home. But I'll be in this insurance industry as long as I have fun, and I'm having fun when I'm helping people. That's the deal. Yeah. I don't even look at the numbers, the financial, how much money I'm making. I mean, I never have really focused on that. I wanted to make enough so that Mickey and I could live, and then I wanted to make enough so we could live a good life. But it wasn't about getting wealthy. It's about how many thousands of people can I help. And you're exactly right. So today we're helping them, but we don't know we're helping them because we're helping agents who multiply the work and the outreach that we can do. We've got amazing products in our industry. I guess my only real wish, if I said, is that more of us could have seen how these products serve the public, to live them and believe them. Just amazing. And I hope everyone got a chance to watch the Joe Jordan video over the weekend.
Yeah.
Very, very emotional and powerful message. But Brian, that's it. I just love helping people, and as long as I can do that, I'm going to.
Well, and you guys have a family business. We talked about this early on. Not only has it been you and Mickey working in the business, but you also have Angelique and Billy, and even a next generation that's coming up, right, with Mr. Noah. So tell us a little bit about that. Is a whole other dynamic that you guys are working for as well, right?
Well, we feel like we're working on building a legacy of Drennan family members in the business, and we have several of them, and we consider our team family. But Angelique and Billy are integrity partners also, and we are so thankful to have them. They bring a lot to the table, and we are just so appreciative of all their skills and their support. And we just would not want to do this without them. And, talking about servants' hearts, Billy respected Larry so much when he married Angelique that he took our name as his name. And we so appreciated that. We never said a word before he got married about him doing that. It was a big surprise before he married Angelique. So Billy is our son-in-law, Angelique's our daughter, but their last name is Drennan. And we have a great appreciation for that. And then, of course, there's Noah. And Brian, you had the opportunity to meet Noah.
I love Noah.
At dinner one night at a big agent conference, and you found out that Noah was an aspiring cartoonist. And Noah does have a lot of artistic talent, and we try to inspire that in him. And you offered him a commission if he would do the drawing for the Razorback, because our name was the Razorback Project, that would be wood carved and hung on the wall in the Dallas office. And so Noah did that, and you put some funds in his college education, which we all appreciate. But Noah's art piece was woodcut, and we have a replica of that if anyone would like to see it. But he's quite an artist, and we appreciate his talents so much. I think Larry's going to put him to work in the marketing department as soon as he's able to take a job.
Absolutely. We need to get him working. Well, yeah. So Noah, for those of you who don't know, we codename every project. So this was Project Razorback for Drennan, and that's part of the kind of the process of us becoming partners. Is there's a code name for every one of our deals. Project Razorback, and one of the things that we do is we commemorate a deal after it's done by making a piece of art out of it, and it's actually a piece of wood that's hand carved by an artist that shows whatever the project name was. And so we were at dinner that night, and Noah was telling us a little bit about his art skills, and so how old is Noah? Is he 12 now?
He's 12 now. He was 11 then.
Yeah, he was 11. So I said, well, man, we would be honored if you would actually draw the Project Razorback design, but we pay an artist to do that, so we wanted to treat him fairly and make sure he was taken care of, and so he did such a fabulous job that our artist started getting worried if we were going to take his job away, because he was like, hold on, this is what you paid me to do. And I said, well, this time's special, and it was really special to do that. And then, man, the story about Billy taking your name, that's I don't know if I've ever heard of that. But that's a whole other story in itself, and we should get Billy and Angelita to join us one day on this podcast and share more of that. But that shows how much you're respected, Larry and Mickey, and how much we also admire you. And I just want to tell you, thank you for being such great partners. Thank you for sharing your story today for everybody here at Integrity. And man, we are just getting started and excited about where Drennan is going. And I say this all the time, Larry, to a lot of our offices. We've got 4 or 5 different offices that have celebrated the 50th year, including Premier and American Independent Marketing. We've got ABL. We've got Golden Care. We've got a lot of businesses that have celebrated a lot of longevity. And so part of what I talk a lot about here in Dallas is it's our job. It's really our turn to really lead this business for the next 50 years. And we want to make decisions, and all of our decisions, we want to be thinking long enough term to say, what were we doing when it was our turn to make sure that the business was, taken care of, and that in 50 years from now, people are still talking about Drennan and Integrity and all these other great businesses. And so thank you for your leadership. Thank you for paving the way for us. And thank you for being our partner. We are so proud to be your friends, first and foremost, and then your partner as well.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
It's an honor. We love being with Integrity, and we love what we do.
It's very much a mutual feeling with us. We love you guys. We love all the Integrity employees and partners. It's the right business model so that we can serve many more times the number of people into the future. It's just, we can't say enough about it, Brian. Thank you.
Well, we feel completely mutual. Feelings completely mutual. Well, Mickey and Larry, thank you. We love you so much, and we're so proud to be your partner. Appreciate you sharing this story. Hope everybody has a wonderful day. All the leaders and managers, thank you for getting back in the office, serving all the family members here to prepare the way for us to get back in a safe and secure manner. If you need anything, please know that our readiness team is here and ready to help. Thanks, everybody. I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Look forward to talking to you all very soon. God bless you guys. Thanks a lot, Larry and Mickey. Take care.